Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to speak about the subject of why do we dream? Well, there's different definitions of dreaming. There's dreaming when you're sleeping, and there's also dreaming about the dreams that you want to achieve in life. And those are two different subjects. But for me, let's start with the subject of dreaming to dream about things that you would like to do, things that you would like to accomplish, things that you would like to just see happen. And that's the thing, is everything starts with a dream in a way. Or if somebody wants to say, it could also start with a thought. So first of all, you have that thought. Then that thought is like, hey, let me dream about it. Let's see what can happen. I'd like to travel to X, Y, and Z. Go there and do it. And then the beauty about dreams is that sometimes they can actually become reality. And then, of course, there's also the dreams where you're sleeping, and we have a lot of visions, and we see people from our daily life, and sometimes it's a little chaotic and stuff like that. But it's the brain's way of organizing our thoughts and putting them in little drawers, and also kind of memorizing the things that we need to memorize. Because, for example, when we study, a lot of times people say, hey, right before going to sleep, try to read whatever you were studying, even just briefly, or just look it over, because then it's the last thought that you kind of have before going to sleep, and then it becomes important in the brain, and it starts dreaming about these things, and it organizes them. And we have many number of dreams every day, and most of the time we just don't really remember them. And at the same time, I think we're not really meant to be remembering the dreams too much. That's why when sometimes you wake up, you will remember one dream or the other, and also at the same time, what you don't realize is that you actually forgot a lot of the other dreams that you were having, because they're just little bits of information and stuff, and people try to give meaning to that and all that, but really dreams is mostly when you're sleeping, just a way for the brain to organize itself, try to make meaning out of the things. But now let's go back to the subject of dreaming the dream. I think it's important to really dream a lot, even for fantasy things such as flying, or whatever you want to do, having a luxury mansion on top of a mountain, whatever it is, or whatever you think can make you dream. Because sometimes the thing is that basically in our society, like for example, art is loved, but it's also frowned upon. That's why people like your parents and stuff like that will not tell you to become, most of the time, an artist, a painter, a dancer, stuff like that, because they're often jobs that don't give a lot of financial stability, and there's a few select that make very good amounts of money, and those people become famous. But then a big chunk of those artist jobs are going to make you poor. But what's funny about that is that these are the jobs that are dreams in some way, and these are the jobs that, even though a lot of people don't realize how important this and that artists are, it's what allows us to see into somebody else's mind, and in order also to kind of overcome whatever banality you have in life, and to dream and to think. And that's why it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because we only often see the final result of these artists, and we don't see how much they had to struggle in order to get to that point, or they don't even see the few, let's say, beginning pieces of art or film or dance and stuff like that they've been doing, and they only see the good ones, and they say, oh well, of course that person made it. They were able to make a great career out of their passion because they're so gifted in whatever they're doing. And then you're thinking, oh well, that's true, yeah, well, I'm not gifted that way, so I'll never go into dance, music, painting, or any of these artsy jobs, really. But at one point, these people were the same as you and I in some way. They had a dream and they needed to express it. They needed to make it happen. That's why if you enjoy these things, if you're good or bad at it, it doesn't matter. It's your life. So you should enjoy what you're doing and you should do the things you like. And if you can't make money out of it, then so be it. But at least you're doing the things you enjoy. And dreams can also be traveling, can be simpler things, or having a family, or dreaming of the next time you can have sushi. But it can go from very, very crazy dreams to very simple dreams. And they're all dreams because some people might say they're thoughts. I guess they're right too. But a dream, it's kind of like, for me, it's something you envision in your head and then you're like, okay, yeah, I'd like that. That's cool. So you could even be at work simply and just dream about the fact that you can get out of work in the next 6 or 7 hours because now you're going to be able to go enjoy your favorite sushi restaurant. See? So these are dreams too. And I think that they're important because everything comes out of a simple thought. A simple thought can definitely become reality. And sometimes it's also important, kind of like Don Quixote, to dream the impossible dream, because it kind of gave meaning in his own life. It gives people something to look forward to. So if you want to go like Don Quixote and fight the windmills because you see them as giants, well, why not? It definitely made him believe that he was this knight and that it gave him purpose, even though he was old and withered. And if you believe it strongly enough, then you kind of become it. And that's what I've often come to realize. You're often the product of what your thoughts are. And if you think that your life is just a simple piece of shit life and you don't want to dream that you can be better than that, then so be it. But then unfortunately the thing is, even without dreaming, you're still dreaming because you have that thought of, nah, I can't do this thing because I'm not good enough. Well, guess what? You just dreamt that you weren't good enough. But it's always easier to go into and accept the dream of failure than to accept the dream of success. So I think people should be allowed sometimes to think about success and think about things that are not even plausible, because if you start thinking these implausible things over and over again, eventually the impossible becomes reality. And if you believe that pixies are flying and you see dragons in the sky and life is beautiful, well, that's your reality. That's your perceived reality. And if that brings you happiness, then why not? Why let the rest of society dictate what you need to think? What is really existent and what isn't, you know? So anyways, that's my little rant of the day. Have a great, beautiful day if you're in Los Angeles or in the rest of the world. And I'll talk to you soon.